I have been hearing during the campaign as one of the campaign strategies from your speakers that you are an imam, so that means people should vote for you, and then here and there. But I cannot justify from that one. But today too, you mentioned part of your policies or part of your integrities or honesties that you are an imam, people should vote for you. I want you to tell me, becoming an imam, where in our constitution does it justify based on our functions? Where in our constitution does it demand for one to become an imam before making an auditor?
Thank you very much, my brother Dafe, for the questions. I think for that of the records, I can be able to answer this, but otherwise it's not necessary. I'm not brag, I want to blow my own trumpet. But being an imam is an important portfolio in the communities. Right? My father was an imam. We inherited that. But even me personally, I'm not even considering my father's mosque. That one is there on its own. But we have in our own mosque where we lead in prayers. And in that, because of the respect and due diligence people have on me in that regard, that's why we just bring it as a reference for people to know that anybody serve as an imam in a community, in a bigger community like Pirang, can also serve in the position of the trust. And we know the auditor position is a position of the trust. So people must have trust in you, the way they have trust in me to serve, to make me as an imam in the community. So it has in line with our responsibilities, because auditor is somebody who should be trustworthy. Auditor should be somebody who should be straightforward. Auditor should be somebody who should be a watchdog, not a bystander. So therefore, an imam also have similar qualities. So if you look at the qualities of an imam and the qualities of an auditor general, they are more of the same, for the fact that they have similar functions. Like he rightly mentioned so many things about this achievement in the communities, and those achievements, basically we want to know it very well. Those achievements you mentioned of being, how to call it, an auditor in your own community, and also being what is the name in Combo East, like I said, the youth development committees, your program managers. I don't know the KIDA you're talking about. To be a program manager in your community or in Combo East in particular, because I'm also from Combo East, I've never known about that. If that is an organization that is renowned, and also if that the functions of that, being a coordinator in that thing, what has that connection with your functions as Auditor General?
Being an Auditor General in the community and being an Auditor General in Edusa, they are similar. Auditor Generals are Auditor General. It's all independent positions that we serve in order to audit the performance of our association, right? Good. Aside from that, he also asks what connection of me being a program manager at KIDA has to do with the position of Auditor General. He who knows KIDA, maybe he is not in Combo East, but whosoever is in Combo East knows KIDA. Even the children at age 5, they all know what the work of KIDA is. KIDA, like I said, is a university of its own when it comes to the youth work. So to serve as a program manager to that association, it means that shows you have that institutional memory, you have that experience to be able to help any position regardless of its nature as far as youth work or organization or an association is concerned. So this is why I was using this as part of my campaign, because it's a success story that I have registered.
A lot had happened, in the past 12 months. Edusa become the household name in the University of the Gambia. Everybody is talking about Edusa this, Edusa that, 15 executive council this, 15 executive council that. A lot of brouhahas, a lot of complaints, recommendations, so many things that you are aware of, because you are not a stranger in the University of the Gambia, especially School of Education. If you are elected in the office, how can you use your position as Auditor General to unify Edusians? Because both of you are coming from two different camps. You have your philosophies, they have their philosophies. So how can you unify Edusa?
This point is very important, because it's even part of my policies. Though I know that I'm an independent member, That's why I include that to make sure that we do Edusans under one umbrella. If you look at the past 12 months, like you made mention, is a moment of chaos, right? Where everybody is talking about Edusa. More especially if you go to political bantabas. People are just talking about things that are insulting one another. And I believe that in my capacity as Auditor General, and the trust and the confidence people have on me, and the respect also people give me, even in Edusa, I don't think if I advise the council members as part of my functions, they will reject my advices, especially when it comes to the unity. This one, in fact, is something that I've been doing. Like I said, like my brother mentioned of being an imam, what connection has to do with this? It is very, very important. We mitigate so many we mediate so many issues in our communities as an imam. When it comes to bringing people together, okay, that is part of my functions as an imam in the community. That is, we have been doing that between couples, married couples, between friends, between families and the like. We have been doing that. That is not a new thing to me. So coming to the Edusa, like I said, if you look at our community settings, we can see that some of the functions in the communities is more complex, even the University of the Gambia. For the fact that we believe that whenever in the council, for example, we try to talk about certain things that is important to make sure that we bring people together, I think that's going to be very easy and they're going to listen to me, because it's part of my function that I should serve as an advisor to every officer in that particular council.
If not among, or if not the best question so far that is asked today, but it's also among the best questions that is asked. I will start by saying Edusa must not die.
Yes.
Edusa is for all, regardless of our political affiliation. As far as I am concerned, as an Auditor General, if I am voted in the office, I will make sure that with all my power and constitutional functions that I have to bestow upon anyone to have peace, I will do. Because I have that constitutional function whereby I can give and advise to the executive members. So in this case, I think people are saying there is a lot of brouhaha in Edusa, but sometimes I say to myself, I said, yes, sometimes there is, but sometimes there is not. Why do I say sometimes there is and sometimes there is not? In all these problems that we are facing, it's not face to face. If not because of these politics, I will never sit with my brother debate. Yes, he knew very well the respect and the regards that I have for him.
Yes, that's what they say. The students are good, but the politicians are the problem.
Yeah, this is where I'm coming up.
Yes.
This politics is no way to destroy my relationship with anyone.
Okay.
In fact, it will strengthen it. But where I feel there is a problem, because where you are saying those political bandaba, insult and other things in politics never exist. There, I think I will work with the IPRO ministry, where they are the one responsible for regulation of that group. Whosoever use foul words or whatever in the page that is not, friendly language, in consultation with the president or executive power, the man with the executive power in the board should be removed from the page.
Good afternoon to our viewers across the Gambia and to the students joining us live. Welcome to Fine TV Farato Studio. I am your moderator, Sheikh Omar Fati, IPRO 15 Executive Council, Edusa. Today marks the critical milestone in our 2026 election cycle as Education Student Association, Edusa, begins its official policy debate series at Fine TV Gambia. We are here to move beyond slogans and dive deep into manifestos of those who wish to lead the 16th Executive Council, Edusa. We began this series with one of the most vital office in any administration, and that is Auditor General. We all know the power and the importance the Auditor Office has in any administration. The Auditor General is the gatekeeper of our resources. No institutions can move without having a good Auditor Generals at their disposal. The guardians of transparency and officer responsible for ensuring that every dollar contributed by students is spent with integrity and purpose. Today, we will test the technical competence and the visions and the independence of the candidates vying for this seat. Now, I would like to take you through the rules, and all the candidates should abide by these rules. Before we meet our candidates, here are the rules for this hour. Rule 1. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for an opening statement. 2. For the team question, response are limited to 3 minutes. 3. Rebuttals will be allowed at the end of the questions. 4. We ask all candidates to maintain professionalism, decorum throughout the broadcast. If you are not given the mic, you should not speak. It is now my pleasure to introduce the candidates for the office of the Auditor General. First, I would like to start with the candidate from my left-hand side, Honorable Suleiman Sano from Team Renaissance, and also Ansumana Dafe from Student Service Council. So these are the 2 candidates from different camps that are vying for the position of Auditor General. Candidates, welcome to the floor. We will begin with the opening statement by Suleiman Sano. Suleiman, the floor is yours. You can introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Seymour Fati, the IPRO of 15th Executive Council, University of the Gambia School of Education. And my brother, that is Ansumana Dafe from Team SSC, and our fellow students and beautiful viewers and listeners out there, and all other protocol duly observed. As I already mentioned, my name is Suleiman Sano, a second-year student, University of the Gambia School of Education, majoring in agricultural science and a minor in public administration. I am humbly vying for the position of Auditor General in the upcoming student elections come March 31st, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Sano. Now, descending to Honorable Dafe, and introduce yourself. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof, the moderator, and an executive member, the IPRO unit of the 15th Executive Council, and to my able brother, Mr. Suleiman Sano, with due respect, good afternoon to you. And to the wonderful viewers out there, I greet you all. As he said, I am Ansumana Dafe, a 400 level student on the University of the Gambia School of Education, majoring in agriculture and a minor in economics. And also a former HTC student certificate, a mathematics major and a science. Like he said, as a candidate for the Auditor General, I stand before you today, equipped with the techniques, skills, experience, and knowledge necessary to uphold the position of Auditor General, and the reliability, the authenticity to uphold this great position. So I thank you all. The rest will be coming soon.
Thank you. We all heard that. They introduced themselves, and both of them welcome to the policy debate. This year, the debate is not going to be easy as usual. We are going to give them the questions that all these education students are asking, and we will leave no stone unturned. Now, to start with, the first questions will go to Honorable Sano. Mr. Sano, how do you define the role of Auditor General within our student association? And what is the single biggest change you intend to implement to improve the financial transparency as an independent man?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mafati, for that wonderful questions. And it's very important to dilate on that because the position of the Auditor General is very significant as far as our student leadership is concerned. Moreover, I just want to talk about something very important here. That is me as an individual who is vying for this position. I believe that this person needs integrity and also it needs trust and confidence that people have on you to be able to put you in that position. So therefore, the Auditor General is very, very important in any settings, more especially when it comes to the organization. We believe that accountability is the strength of trust, or accountability is the foundation of trust, and trust is the strength of any student any student association. So therefore, it is very important that this person to be looked into, and also to be careful in whom you should give this person to, because this position, this person who should be the Auditor General should serve as a mediator or should serve as an advisor to the council to make sure that we spend wisely, we spend fairly, we spend the very entrusted fund, or the very fund that is entrusted to us to serve the best interest of the students. So it is very important that we make sure that this position is given to somebody who is qualified and capable enough. And looking at me personally, I have vast experience in this area because I am an Auditor General currently serving in my own community in one of the biggest youth association in Piran, that's called the Aston Villa Youth Association. And also, I'm also serving as the chairman and the coordinator of the US-based charitable organization in the Gambia that's called Push for the Future. In this organization, currently, we are having more than $8,000 in our covers. That will show you that how responsible I am to be able to safeguard and also be able to coordinate how that money should be spent wisely to serve the best interests of the Gambians in general. Based on that organization, currently we are doing lots of things for the Gambians, more especially in Region 5 North and even in West Coast region. Right? We have built schools. We also have built boreholes for different communities, and also we also have helped people who are needy to make sure that they have all these things in more especially in difficult times. So therefore, this person is very important. If it is given to me, I'm going to serve diligently as the Auditor General, School of Education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Sano. The same thing goes to Honorable Duffy. Honorable Duffy, how do you define the role of Auditor General within our student association, and what is the single biggest change you intend to implement to improve the financial transparency when you are elected in the office?
Thank you very much, Mr. Seguma, the moderator. And once again, I greet you down there, the listeners and the viewers. Like you said, the question is directly asked into the constitutions, not about the performance that I have been doing. So in line with the constitution, that which says the role of the Auditor General within our student association, it says that section 20 from subsection 1 to subsection 6. First, it says, he or she shall account the association book and report back to the Executive Council and General Student Assembly at least once every 3 months, which I am ready to serve according to the Constitution. It also says that he or she shall be responsible for conducting the periodic individual performance of the Executive Council, and then the report will be given back to the Executive Council for the benefit of doubt to the general students. As we all know, being an auditor is not just merely a name that is embedded on somebody, but this counts a lot because it comes with a lot of things that are core ethics and conduct of these positions, which entails integrity, honesty, transparency, and accountability, which I believe if I'm voted into the office, all these things will be diligently seen, will be clearly seen by the voters of the Honorable Mama Edusa. To continue with, subsection 4 of the Constitution also talks about, it says, he or she shall be independent in execution of his or her duties, which I believe, with my previous experiences as Auditor General of Best Friends Association of Tubacuta Based Community CAFO, which I served, I am here with experience, not just to go and learn, but I'm with my experience already, and not only to serve as the Auditor General of that association, I'm also the current Secretary General for Tubacuda Water Committee. He who knows Tubacuda knows what that committee is doing in the village. Aside from that, I'm also the chairman of Tubacuda Youth Development Association. For the very first time that association is established, it started from the task force which I led down to the Congress, which I was elected as the first ever chairman of Tubacuda Youth Development Association. And also, I'm the current program manager to Combo East Youth and Children Development Alliance, and also was part of the UTG Student Union electoral staff 2023. So through these experiences, my integrity, my honesty, and my moral cannot be questioned. So, and I believe with the role that Auditor General serve, as Mr. IPRO mentioned earlier, is very crucial. We are the backbone of every institution, and then therefore students need to scrutinize and know who is capable enough to man this position. With the attributes that I mentioned here, I believe that I am fit for the purpose, and when I'm voted in the office, I will be transparent, I will be neutral, I will be impartial, regardless of anybody's political affiliation when you are voted in. And I will make sure that the promises and the policies that the council members will make are fulfilled. Thank you.
Thank you. To remind you, we are live at Fine TV Farato Studio. The students that are watching, you can listen to them and then you make your choice the day of the election. Now to the next questions. Honorable Sano, the Auditor General must remain impartial. How will you ensure your personal friendship or political affiliation? And also, how will you maintain your professionalism distance from the President to ensure he do not influence you or your audit reports? We all know that you are vying position through a camp, and now if you happen to win and your President also won, so how will you do this as an independent man?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sheikh Mafati, the able IPRO of 15th Executive Council. All right, the question is very important, like you made mention of the position of the IPRO when it comes to the impartiality, which is very important. We're still talking about the role of an auditor and also even our track records. Nobody can dispute that. All right. The same section I also quote from the section 20 of subsection 3, which says Auditor, or subsection 4, which says Auditor General is an independent member in the council when it comes to execution of his functions. So as an independent member in the council, I don't think that if you are somebody who is trustworthy, who is straightforward, you should not allow anybody to push you out. And that one is number one. For me personally, if I said white is white, nobody can baffle me with anything to make sure that I do what I'm supposed not to do, based on the camps or whatsoever. Because we are not serving the camps, because we are going to serve the Edusa at large, the Edusa community, I mean the student community at large. So therefore, in serving those people, you should not look into the camps anymore. That is very important. When it comes to the question proper, you're talking about impartiality. Like I said, if you look at the track records, because we must try to back ourselves with our track records, for students to know who is qualified, who is eligible to be able to mount this position. Going over some of these track records are very, very important. Currently, right now, I am serving as a renowned imam and also a scholar in Piram. If you go to Piram, those who know Piram very well, it's not a small community. We have almost more than 15 mosques, this big mosque, where we give sermons on a weekly basis. That's the trust and the confidence they have on me. And not only that, even my school career, my school time, when you go to Jami Soba Business School, because I started initially as an Arabic student. From there, after my graduation from Mad Islamic Institute, I went to Jami Soba Business School, where I served as the head boy there. I went to Nusa Senior Secondary School as the deputy head boy, and also to Gambia College, okay, School of Education, majoring in agricultural science and general science. After I went to the Gambia College, after opening my qualification or graduation, I devoted almost a decade in teaching profession. So where I serve as the vice principal of Denver Bay Cycle. So if you look at all these things here, these are good empirical evidence that no one can deny that. But when it comes to impartiality, we will make sure that we uphold the General Counsel to the account, especially when it comes to the individual, the performance of this report, which is very, very important, because as an Auditor General, you serve as an independent member in the council. You serve as an independent member of the council. You should assess the performance of all executive members in terms of their operations, in terms of their involvement in council activities. And there should be total scrutiny on performance on these people to make sure that all of us work very hard to serve the best interests of the students. So this one is very important. And working hard to serve the interests of the people, you have to be impartial. You should not judge people based on their accounts. By rating others less because we are in the same camp, based on the camp affiliation, I will not going to do that. So therefore, I believe that I fit for the purpose. And inshallah, if I'm elected into this office, I will make sure that I uphold the student council to accountable of any misconduct or whatsoever. And when you go to the constitution, section 20, subsection 2, it says that Auditor General, he or she, is responsible of conducting periodic individual performance audit, and will report to the council, which is very, very important, because sometimes you see that some of the council members, from the president down to the last person, might be misbehaving in the council. What should you do? You have to correct, you give an advice, because Auditor General also is an advisor to the council. You should give an advice to the council members, all officers, when it comes to the financial matters, and also you should also look at whatsoever is happening within the council which is not correct. You should make sure that you report to the executive council for corrective measures. So these are very, very important fundamental pillars that, as far as you are an auditor, you should be able to do that. These are some of the things which is very, very important. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Sano, for that. Now we go to Honorable Dafe. The same question, Honorable. The Auditor General must remain impartial. How will you ensure your personal friendship or political affiliation? And also, how will you maintain your professional distance from the President to ensure he do not influence you and your audit report? We all know you are from a camp, and the camp is the one, supporting you. So if you go to the office, how will you do this?
I thank you so much, moderator, Mr. Segmor Fadi. Like you're talking about the impartiality that you're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
This is even part of the functions of the Auditor General. I quote before and I will quote now again.
Mm-hmm.
It falls under section 20, which talks about the functions of an Auditor General, subsection 4, which talks about he or she shall be independent in executing his or her duties. I said, in this role, I will operate as a steadfast advocate for impartiality. As an incoming Auditor General,
Mm-hmm.
I pledge to work independently to mitigate any risks of corruption, mismanagement, or fraud. My commitment to justice and transparency derives my pursuit of this position, and I believe my capability to operate autonomously aligns perfectly with the demands of this role. So for me, he who knows Dafe knows me with these qualities. I have been impartial since the very first day that I stepped my foot in the University of the Gambia. All thanks to SSC members who saw this potential in me, and then because of their inclusiveness, as part of their core values, the unity, the inclusion, and the progress, that they saw this quality in me. Because from my first summit, I have never involved in politics. I have been that neutral guy. He who knows that he knows this neutrality in him, knows this honesty in him. So they know very well that if I am voted in the office as an Auditor General, no president, in fact, no council member can influence me to be biased, as the role itself defines itself as an Auditor General. I should be there to serve as neutral guy, to serve the best interest of the students, not even my interest or not even the interest of the camp, but for the interest of the students. So whatever doesn't match with the interest of the students, I'm not in. Like I said earlier, here currently, who knows Combo is? If you talk about KIDA is a university of youth work. To become a program manager in that association is just not a one-night stand. It has to take you certain qualities, which I have, and those are my core values. Impartiality is my core values. Because if you are used to anything, as the English man said, it becomes part of you. This is part of me. I stand to be independent, impartial when I am voted in the office, without fear or favor, without nepotism or without any other thing. And taking back to a little bit ago, when I went to Canada as a teacher, as young as I am, I was given this responsibility as a senior teacher. Not only that, I served as head of block for the grade 10 blocks and also the HOD for mathematics department. And also in my community, if you go there today, you ask who is David, they will tell you he's an action-oriented person and very principled man. Whatever that he says, in line with the truth, he doesn't bend. And these are the qualities of auditor. One has to be transparent. You have to be what? You have to be accountable, and you have to be honest, reliable, and above all, logical in all your approaches, which I believe I have all this in me. And if I'm lucky to be voted in the office, I will serve more than even the expectation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Duffy, for that. Now we're going to move on to remind the viewers, you are watching Fine TV. Edusa policy debate election that is coming 2026 to elect the 16th Executive Council. Those who are going to vote, the Edusans and the university students in general, we are here with the Auditor Generals of education students who are vying for the position to become the next Auditor General of 16th Executive Council. Now to Honorable Sano, the Auditor General is the student watchdog. Why should the voters trust you or the students trust you to vote for you? Why?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question once again. The trust is already there, because if you go to the School of Education, University of the Gambia, the entire students, they have that confidence and trust in me. That is why in my camp, the Mighty Camp Renaissance, Team Renaissance, they build that trust in me to an extent that they even select me as the committee member under the Ministry of Welfare and Culture, 15th Executive Council, currently serving as a committee member in that ministry. The trust and the confidence they have in me, that is enough for me. And I believe that the entire student body of School of Education, they equally have the same trust in me. Coming back to that point, that the trust they should have, whether they should believe in me or not. Like I'm saying, if you go to my own community, not only in the School of Education, but if you go to my community to serve as an imam in a community, that's a big challenge, and there's a big trust and responsibility. So if the entire community, not only even within Pirang, but even within Combo East, where we even having public lectures, like when I mean these conferences will be organizing where all over, and still, in fact, I'm still serving as an administrator in one of the biggest Quranic memorization center also in Pirang, where we have more than 500 kids in that school. So therefore, I am administrator, I am an imam, I am an auditor, and also I am somebody who is very partial, somebody who is very straightforward, and people know me for that. Those in School of Education, they know who is Suleiman, and I believe that with that trust and the confidence having in me, if I am given a chance to be in this position, I'm going to do to the best of my ability. And also, If you look at the sections 20 in our constitution, subsection 4 or subsection 5, it is saying that the Auditor General shall serve as an advisor to the council. So if you look at the person, it's very important because you should be impartial. You should be straightforward. You have to be in the middle. Nobody should intimidate you. Nobody should bend you, make you to do what you shouldn't do. So therefore, the person is very, very important. I'll be just, and students will trust, and the confidence they have, the trust and the confidence they have in me, it is still there. And if I am given the chance, I will do more than what is expected of me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sano. Now, the same question to Honorable Dafe. Mr. Dafe, the Auditor General is the student watchdog. Why should the voters vote for you as the next Auditor General of 16 Executive Council?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. As in line with what you have just said, Auditor General is the student watchdog. Why should they vote, or why should the voters trust me to be watching over their money?
Exactly.
One thing I know, because trust, I will not even talk about that. Trust is already there. That's from day one up to date. I have been serving Edusa without doubt, without fear. So that trust is unquestionable. It's there already. Going back to this point, it is that transparency and accountability that we're talking about here again. I will monitor all the contributions or funds raised by the association, how they are gained or raised, spent, and then reported it to the General Assembly and also the executive for the best interest of the students. And I will not endorse any initiatives that do not serve the best interest of our association. Because I realize that to optimize financial resources, one need to do what we call risk-based audit planning. In this risk-based audit planning, this has to allow us to assess the potential benefit and the risks associated with our financial decision. So therefore, if I am voted into the office to serve as a watchdog in relation to keeping their money or as their money to be safe, will not even be a problem. As I'm standing here, I'm the little bank or the local bank that they call it in Tubacuda. Recently, the monies that I have in my custody from different associations, I cannot even count the amount recently. So that is built on trust in me. And coming to a whole community, having trust to give you a project, that a clean construction project that I have to oversee to build this project for the women that has to go into a clinic. That project is under me recently. I'm running that project. And that is a great trust that is built on one to do that. I'm also part of a chronic memorization center as their executive committee member. That there is no executive decision that is made in my absence. That is all fall on a trust. So therefore, dear students, with all these trust that is embedded on me from the community level down to the constitutional function that I have just said here, your contributions will be properly used. I will not leave any stone unturned when it comes to the accountability of our association funds. This will be served accordingly. And then the trust that you have in me before, I will tell you, in fact, if I'm voted in the office, that trust will even be more than expected, because I will make sure that I build that trust between the executive council and also the general student body. Because auditing process in Edusa has always been a problem. Whenever it is out, chaos is always caused. But I am that somebody whom I'm honest, I'm reliable, I serve with integrity, and know that if I'm voted in the office, be rest assured that, be confident that, not only that I'm reliable, I'm honest, and I will serve with justice, with impartiality, regardless of your position. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dafe. Those that are joining us, you are watching Fine TV Live at Farato. We are having Edusa Policy Debate 2026. I'm your moderator, Simon Fati, IPRO 15 Executive Council, Edusa. Now, this question is basically for you. No past records or whatsoever. You have to answer the questions as we ask them. If you don't, we're going to stop you. Now, to Honorable Sano, auditing require a sharp eye. What technical skills do you have in financial evaluation or performance tracking? Don't tell us history, don't tell us whatsoever. The Edusans want to know what technical skills do you have or you are going to use to make sure that the finance is on track.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I said, no track records, but this person is very, very important. That what they should do to be able to ascertain that performance or that particular position as Auditor General. If you look at it critically, it's very, very important because Auditor General should be impartial, should be somebody who is straightforward. An Auditor General should be somebody who knows what he's doing. If you look at it very well, when it comes to the settings, when it comes to the Executive Council, there can be chairs. There can be something that is normal. As an Auditor General, you should know, you should be with your senses to be able to look at things critically and try to solve them amicably. As an advisor to the Council, you should make sure that anything the Council want to spend when it comes to the financial expenditures, anything Council want to spend, and you realize that what the Council want to spend is not what is expected or it is not required, it's not important, then you have to give an advice to the Council. And also, if any amount that is going, you realize that this amount going is not to the best interest of the students, you have to give an advice to the Council to make sure that anything is going out, if it is possible that what you spend, it is in line with the Constitution, you have to take note and record it. And if any student or if any member of the Council also is misbehaving or doing something perfect very well, then you have to give credit to that person. That has to be recorded. That is going to be gathered at the end of the day based on their performance, based on the credentials, based on the clear evidence that you have gathered when it comes to execution of the functions, based on either the executive members and even the council members sometimes at the committee level. You have to assess them to be able to know their performance actually, what they are doing for the organization, whether they are performing or they are not performing. You have to know all this, scrutinize it very well, and you make sure you give your report at the end of the day. That what is even said in the Constitution, that you have to give a report to the Executive Council and also the General Assembly at least once in every 3 months. So which is very, very important, critically. This is what I have.
Thank you, Honorable Duffy. The same thing goes to Honorable Duffy. Auditing, here we need to be straight to the point. No history, no whatsoever, no track records. The skills that you have. Auditing require a sharp eye. What technical skills do you have in financial evaluation or performance tracking?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, and the viewers and wonderful listeners down there. Mr. Moderator, I will not take even 2 minutes on this point because the question is very direct.
Yes.
I was a commerce student in my senior secondary school and I did financial accounting. And in your question, you take, what technical skills do I have? This is enough for it. I was a financial student and I did accounting. And in the accounting, there is audit process with various types of audit and audit opinion. So therefore, I have that skill, the financial skills, the knowledge, the technical know-how in order to operate in financial evaluation and performance tracking. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Duffy. Now to the policies. Now this time around, I'll give you 4 minutes to talk about your policies and your programs that you have for Edusans so that they can vote for you, because we know at the end of the day, one of you have to occupy the most important office in the 16th Executive Council. Honorable Sano, you can talk about your policies and programs.
Yeah, thank you very much, Moderator. That's Fati. It's very important that we sell our policies to the beautiful listeners and the viewers out there, the students body, to know actually the policies we are coming with is very significant and it's very important to make sure that we put the Edusa account into check and balance. So therefore, initially, what the model was talking about, if you look at the the experience we have, even me personally, I was a commerce student at the New Zealand Senior Secondary School. And when it's a commerce student, you know what I mean. I did financial accounting, cost accounting, business management, and economics. So I knew very well that this person requires somebody who have technical know-how. And the skill required for this person, I have it, 100%. Therefore, no doubt about my capability in serving as Auditor General in the 16 Executive Council coming, inshallah. Coming to my policies, number one is going to be the performance audit report, which is very, very important. Like I said, I still have to quote from the same constitution, which says that section 20, subsection 2, it says that Auditor General, he or she, is responsible of conducting a periodic individual performance audit. If you look at that, it has connection with that. That's why I'm quoting that person. But as an independent member in the council, I will assess the performance of all the executive members in terms of their operations, in terms of their involvement in council activities. And also, I will, I will make sure that we scrutinize on performance of the executive members to ensure that all the executive members work to the best interest of the students. And this will be in accordance with the principle of efficiency and effectiveness. So we have to be effective and efficient in doing our functions. If there's no effectiveness in our functions, then we are doomed to failure. And we don't want to fail anymore. We want to make sure that we succeed, and we want to make sure that we bring the lost glory of Edusa. We want to make sure that we uplift the standard. And that cannot happen without checking people without putting the executive members on check and balance to audit them. And second point of it is that the second of my policy, to make it short and brief, the second of my policy is check on financial and administrative transparency, which is very, very important. I will make sure that the financial information is fair and transparent. And also, the financial statements also are prepared according to the relevant accounting standard. Because we all know that an opaque and conflict and opaque financial statements can jeopardize the smooth running of an organization. So we make sure that we put the financial account or the financial reports, make sure that there's a transparency in whatsoever we are doing. If there's no transparency, there can be chairs and there can be misconduct, and there can be students feeling reluctant to pay their dues for the fact that there's no transparency in dealing with their money. And number three, that is also check on financial and administrative accountability. Like I said in the first place, accountability is the foundation of trust. So therefore, accountability being the foundation of the trust, as a steward to the financial the institution's fund, I mean the custodians of institution fund, I will make sure that I bring what is called the moral integrity into the council. Moral integrity into the council in managing all the resources as possible as we can with the highest standards of care and integrity. So which is very important. We have to make sure that our financial disciplines, our financial expenditures is transparent and also is accountable. And also I will make sure that the financial reports or the fund that we have in Edusa, the students what they are contributing based on their semesterly, and also the donations we are having outside, and also the money that we get from sponsored work and also the other philanthropies, we make sure that we use it wisely, we use it accurately, we use it to serve the best interests of Edusans. These are the few policies I want to dilate on, but we have so many policies when it come to the day of convention that we are going to give you enough. These are the few policies I want to put on check and balance. You know that this person standing here is the most qualified and the capable in mounting this person as Auditor General for the student of the University of the Gambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Sano, for that deliberation on your policies and your program. So, Edusans, you are watching, so you can take your decision the day of the election. Now, the same thing to Honorable Duffy. We want to give you 4 minutes to talk about your policies and programs that you have for Edusans, and Edusan, based on that policies and programs, they will decide whether they are going to vote for you or not. So you have 4 minutes to talk about your policies and
Yeah,
programs.
thank you very much once again on the question that I'm asked about the policies and my programs. I will go straight to the policies that I have for the Edusans in line with the constitutions of the Auditor General, the functions. My first policy that I will talk, because like I said earlier, the functions, the policies are many. We cannot exhaust within these 4 minutes, but at least I will select few among the rest, and then the rest can be read in the convention night. All right. First policy that I have for the Edusans is transparency and accountability with quality assurance. Here, I am committed to ensuring that our audit processes adhere strictly to the highest standards of quality. My expertise in this area will provide you with the assurance that our audit will be conducted meticulously to the details and integrity. By how? Good. By monitoring the monies that is gained by the association, how they are spent, and also how to report this to the General Assembly. Because I believe that in this policy is very much important, as in the Constitution, subsection 1 of section 20 says, he or she shall be responsible or shall account the association books and report back to the General Assembly at least once in every 3 months. So that transparency and accountability is very much important. I will make sure that all the activities, all the financial activities per se, follow the constitution, bylaws, and by budget. Because this will help to save the integrity of our association. Like I said, the trust that was lost, the glory can come back to the Edusa. This is what Edusa needs. And the man sitting in front of you here today will assure you that if voted in the office, will make sure that this is served accordingly. The second policy that I want to talk about here is about reporting, transparency, and follow-up policy, which goes in line with the section 20 subsection 6 of our audit, of the function of the Auditor General, which says that he or she shall provide his or her audit criteria. Going back to the policy that I have, like I said, is a policy of what? Reporting, transparency, and follow-up. In line with the constitutional guidelines, I will provide you with my audit criteria in order to serve as the best tool, because this is what the constitution is talking about. Everybody will know what they are to be audited in. So in this, I would say I will audit them based on their attendance in council activities. I will audit them based on their policy obligation versus promises that they will make, because come the day of coming, they will all be making their policy, they will all be reading their policies and promises, and I will make sure that I audit them based on that. The ethical standards of the association, I'll audit them, and also the adherence to their constitutional functions, and also their engagement in council activities. These are going to be the criteria that I will use in auditing the council members when elected in the office. And the other policy that I want to talk about here is the policy of what? Risk-based audit planning method. Like I said, in section 5 of our constitution, section 20 of subsection 5, says that he or she shall advise all the officers on financial matters. So here, to optimize financial resources, I will adopt what we call as risk-based audit planning method. So like I said earlier, in this method, it allows us to assess the potential benefits and then the risks associated with our financial decisions. And anyone who are contrary to this principle will be held accountable regardless of their position in the council. This is ranging from the president down to the last man. No one will be left untouched. And I have those skills in which I can apply various types of auditing styles in order to be able to detect, to know their performance, if there is effective, efficient, and economical performance whosoever made, that I'll be able to know. And I can know if there is any fraud through the forensic method or type of auditing. I can also know those who perform or complete their policy, because I have the technical know-how, I have the experience, I have the skills in which I can do all these things. So if I'm voted in office, to do this is going to be a small thing for me, because I have been used to it. I have been doing it over and over. So to do it will not be a new thing for me. It's not a position where I am going to learn, but it's a position where I am going to deliver. Because administrative wise, I have been an administrator since I was even in school. Upon completing school, I continue with the same administrative skills up to date as where I am sitting. So dear Edusans, your candidate for the Auditor General in waiting is here. Vote for the competency, vote for the confidence, vote for the reliability, and vote for the trust. There you shall be served well. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Befe, for that wonderful deliberation. Now, both of you mentioned report to the executive council, report to the general student body, report here, report there. We all know reports are often too complex for students, especially the economicians, your financial terms, some of us, it confuses us completely. Now, how will you simplify your findings to every Edusians to know exactly where their money went? Because if you look at the reports, for example, by the finance minister, sometimes it's too much. You don't have that time to go over it, and the governments don't read. So, but it's your responsibility as a Auditor General to simplify it for us. Honorable, how are you going to do that?
Yeah, thank you very much once again, moderator. This is very simple. Those who know the terms and also those who have gone through the same process, it will not be difficult for the particular individual. Like I said, we are all, one time doing economics. If not, even still now we are doing it. So therefore, it's not going to be a problem. If you look at the Constitution, it's very simple. It's clearly spelled out there that how you should do that. Because like when I quote from Section 20, subsection 1, it is saying that Auditor General, he or she, shall account the association's book and report to the Executive Council and also to General Assembly at least once in every 2 years. So therefore, the report, that's why we need transparency in this aspect. If there's no transparency, students will not know what is happening. We want to eradicate that system because that is a corrupt system. That system is a system of non-entity. It's a system whereby people will be in a dilemma, don't know what is happening within the council. That is why this section came in to make sure that in every 3 months, at least in every 3 months, you have to give out your report. For students and also the stakeholders can be able to read the financial report and understand. And this cannot happen the day of Congress only. It has to come in sequence. But we have seen in Edusa that report only comes once in a year, which is very bad. For me as a person, if I'm given the opportunity, I will make sure that report comes now and then to make sure that students know where their money is going. That's number one. Number two, this one is simple, like I said, with me, for the fact that I am an independent body, or I am an independent member in the council, that my work should not be questioned. There should not be any interference in my functions. That alone also serves a lot for the fact that any report that I have, any report that I got within the council, I can just take it out to the general students to know what is happening within the council. And more importantly, other section also is mentioned the same thing, that an Auditor General, when it comes to section 2 in the subsection 3, subsection 3 is saying that he or she is mandated to have unrestricted access to officer's file. You have unrestricted, I mean. Nobody should tell you shouldn't look into my files. Their performance, how their performance, based on their policies, the policy implementations, whether they are doing it or not, you have to know. And in that regard, you will make sure that at least in every 3 months, you have to inform the student body about what is happening within the council, whether they are doing their work as expected, whether they are serving the best interests of the student body, or whether they are serving the best interests of their camps, or whether they are serving their own best interests, their own interests within the council. It has to be known, and not only auditor, in fact, but the entire students have to judge them based on their performance. Because we believe that Auditor General should serve as a watchdog, not a bystander, when it comes to the financial matters. When it comes to the performance of the executive members, you have to do what is expected. And in that, as the man sitting here, Suleiman Sano, I will serve diligently and do all my ability to make sure that the best interest of the student is served and served well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Sano, for that. We all had that, what they are going to do to make sure that we know exactly what our monies are going, so that we can understand the complex reports that they are doing. To the Honorable Duffy, you both mentioned here, we're going to report to the Executive Council, report to the General Students Body, and a report here, report there. At the end of the day, too much of reports. So now what we want to know is that reports are often too complex for students to understand. How will you simplify your finding so every student know exactly where their money went? Because from the finance reports, sometimes the reports are too much, and we will not be able to know what and what. But it's your responsibility as an Auditor General to make sure that the students know where their monies are.
Yeah, thank you very much. In line with your questions, I think the question doesn't need a lot of going round about the bush. You just need what? A straightforward answer. Here, if you look at the Constitution, because it gave that mandate or that power to the Auditor General to be able to assess the accounts of our association book and give the report back to the Executive Council or the General Student Body, as we are saying it. This doesn't exempt the the finance or the finance minister. This doesn't exempt the finance minister. It includes everybody in the council, as it states that in subsection 3, where it says he or she is mandated to have unrestricted access to the every council members file upon scrutiny or incidental to their functions, his or her functions. So this has given me that power to be able to know wherever that our Edusa or our association money goes to, comes in, or where it doesn't manifest or spent. So I will be able to know how this money is gained, like I said earlier, and I will also be able to know how it is spent. Then I will report based on the clarity, I will report based on impartiality, I will report based on unbiasedness, without fear or favor, without nepotism or without favoritism. Like I said, in this case, with my knowledge or skills in financial accounting, to be able to detect any errors or truth to bring the integrity out is very simple. So I will just use my financial knowledge, my financial accounting knowledge, the cost accounting, the economics, as I'm rightly doing, even currently I'm on it. So I'll just use that knowledge to be able to account for even a single penny is not missing, and then the reports would be visible, would be easy and accessible to everybody. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. You can still hold the mic, and then I'm going to ask you the second question, follow-up question about that. Audit require criteria are essentials. Audit criteria are very essentials what specific performance indicators will you use to judge whether a minister is actually doing their job? You will be in the council with the ministers, and then you all know sometimes council members will not function according to the way they promise their fellow students. So as an independent man, how are you going to do that to make sure that they are doing their jobs and also to bring them back to track?
Thank you very much, Omar. I think I have said this earlier and I will repeat it again. I read my audit criteria here as of how I will audit. So in this audit criteria, among them I have their attendance of executive members, council members, their policy obligations, their engagement in council activities, their constitutional functions, and their ethical adherence to the standards of ethical adherence to their standards of their conduct. So within this, each and everybody will know, if I do this, I'll be rated this. If I do this, I'll be rated this. And like you said, I will be among them. So they will all read their policies, and remember, I have unlimited access to their files. I will be able to know the policies that they have, whether they are doing it or not, whether they are attending activities or not, whether their ethics are up to standard or not. I'll be able to know all these things, and I'll be able to know if they are following their functions or not. Remember, I'll be in the convention, and also I can have unrestricted access to their files to know this is what they have in and out. So then I'll be able to account them based on the criteria that I have, because already the criteria is being displayed. They know how I'm going to assess them, and every percentage will be counted for. So that will be very much easy for me to be able to account them. So doing my job, and then I will judge them fairly without their affiliation or regardless of their position that they are holding. Because the man sitting here is very impartial, very independent, very honest, reliable, confident, committed to integrity. I don't joke with that. This is one of the main reasons why I even vie for this position, because the positions or the core ethics and conduct that surround the Auditor General in terms of its position and in terms of every other thing around it, they are my core values as a person. So I operate based on this, even without becoming an auditor or even being an auditor, because I served as an Auditor General, not even before Edusa. I have been doing this. It's already part of me that I will continue doing. I will continue expanding the transparency that the students need, the trust and integrity that needs to be shown out there will all be given out with utmost best. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Now to Honorable Sano. The same question. Audits require criteria are essential. What specific performance indicators will you use to judge whether a minister is actually doing their job or not? You will be part of the council if you are elected. So what are you going to do about that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Auditor General, this person is very important. It should be somebody who is active all times. As I know already, even 15 Executive Council, I am part of it because I'm a committee member in one of the ministries. So Auditor General should be somebody who should be present, during council activities. Not only as an auditor, you sit at home, you think that anything is done is fine with you. No, you have to be on the ground. When activities is going, because certain activities within the council, there are what is called side functions based on the ministerial positions. They can do their activities on their own with their committee members. Some of them are general activities whereby they have to be present during the meetings. You have to count that to know their involvement in council activities, and also to know that the ministers, how they implement their policies. Sometimes you have to be on the ground to check on that, which is very, very important, because sometimes if you're sitting at home, you will not be able to know only the informations or the you see in the flyers, the ministry so and so have done this. And for me, I am doing that. All the ministerial positions in Edusa, no especially 15 Executive Council, when they call for an activity, I will be present in most cases, because of recent, when the Ministry of gender, I think, they organized a self-study in the campus. I was there with them. In fact, we did wonders in that place. So in that regard, as an Auditor General, you should be able to know the performance of the ministers when it comes to the implementation of their policies. It's very important. We have the report that should be given, fine. But that report should be given, you have to be present. And like we said in our constitution, there should not be any restriction when it comes to the officer's file. Upon request for scrutiny, if you want to scrutinize any officer's file, there should not be anybody who will say no to that. Because you are somebody who should be impartial, you are somebody who should be straightforward, and you should be somebody who should be independent in your judgment. And in your judgment, you have to be somebody who should have that fear in you that whatsoever I am doing is going to follow me to the next day. So that will force you to be straightforward. Like I said, as somebody who has been auditing before, this almost more than 3 years, I serve as an auditor general. And the money that we dispose, the money that we gather in that association is far more than the money what Edusa is having. Okay? We're having more than close to $1 million that is in our covers, that we do a lot in that community. And Edusa is not up to that standard. So we believe that the bigger standard, if you can perform in a bigger community, if you can perform in bigger capacity, so I see no reason why I cannot function well as far as Edusa is concerned. So I'm going to make sure that I do my best. I do what is expected of me as Auditor General with impartiality, with trust and the confidence that the people have on me in Edusa and even outside Edusa. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hold the marks. Now, if I can remember well, it never happened in the history of Edusa where we find out that the minister is impeached from the office because of their performance is not excellence, or they are not performing well. So are you going to see history making while you are in the office if you are elected as the Auditor General and you find out that a particular minister is not performing and you write a report for the minister to be impeached?
Yeah.
And if at all the minister is from your camp?
Very well. That in fact is part of our functions and in line with our constitution.
Yes.
Because section 20, subsection 4 or subsection 5 is saying that Auditor, he or she, should be somebody who should look into the performance of the executive members. And in that, if you see any misconduct or any misbehavior of a council member, you should bring to the notice of the executive members to take drastic measures. In taking measures, I believe that it's a function as an Auditor General to make sure that anybody who is not on track, you bring that person on board. You can give advice. You can also write recommendation. That's why when I look at the performance of the report, it has to be, there's the 3 criteria which is very important there, and we have to look into that. That is, we have to look at the programs, the defined scope of programs that I'm going to bring. And number 2, also the time period. And number three is going to be recommendations. So in that recommendation here, where I'm going to include what should be done, is going to be finally decided with Executive Council what should be done. But for me, my recommendation, despite from which how the camp you come from, as far as you are serving Edusa, we are not looking into the camps. Camp, in fact, is not my issue here. My issue is the Edusa. Edusa should come first before any other thing else. So I believe that anybody is serving in a position or as a minister, you are not serving your camp, but you are serving Edusa as general.
The question here is, are you going to impeach that minister or not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it is necessary, he have done what is not expected of him.
I mean, you find out that the minister is not performing.
Yes.
And it's your responsibility to make
sure that. It's my responsibility to impeach. Yes, of course, I'm going to do that.
Thank you.
That's why I'm going to look at the standard and the criteria as what is required for that impeachment.
Okay.
If I feel like that is fit for the purpose, of course, why not? Okay. I'm going to impeach that particular minister. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sano. And the upcoming system of the council, be careful. The minister, the Auditor General is ready to impeach if you are not performing and if you are not doing your job. No masalaha, no nothing. So the same thing goes to Honorable Duffy. As Auditor General, and if my memory can serve me well, I never heard from any records or see anywhere that a minister is being impeached from the Edusa. So if you elected as the Auditor General and you find out that a minister is not performing, and you find out from unrestricted access to the file, are you going to write for that minister to be impeached, even if the minister is from your camp?
Very well, Sir Omar. As an Auditor General, I don't belong to any camp. If we look at the functions of an Auditor General, I am going to be there as an that independent man to serve the best interest of the students, not the council. They are there to let the General Assembly to know what is going on right and what is going on wrong. This is why all this reporting matter is coming on. Report this, report there, report here. It is all coming out, or is it all coming up simply because of the General Assembly? If it is only the council, we will just limit it within ourselves. The Dogo Dogo or the Boy James sort of will be playing. But see a man here, the man sitting right in front of you today, called Asma Dafe from a small village between Mandinaba and Basori, as the former President Babil Masa used to say. That small village between Basori and Mandinaba is here with all full-fledged of its honesty. That, like I said, I'm not going to counsel for SSC or for reasons. Neither I will be that independent body, that independent man in the council to see the affairs of the association going right. I recommend. If they go wrong, I have to recommend it, and then it has to go with concerns. Because in the section that my able brother called section, the same section 4, it says he or she shall advise all the executive members on financial matters, and as well as caution upon realizing inefficiency in their performance. This is what the constitution says.
Yes. Now, but the question is here is that
Yes.
if the minister is not performing, and then you know that he's not performing because you are the Auditor General, are you going to recommend for that minister to be impeached because you vote for them to perform?
I said this even before I started. I said very well. That is going to be the first thing that I will do. Recommendation, if it's under my power, I will do it in line with the constitution. I will do it.
Good.
Like that's what I told you. I told you earlier that I am not there for a camp. If I'm there for SSC, then I can say no, I will not do it if an SSC member does it. But I clearly told you that as an Auditor General, I am independent. I'm not there for any other camp, but instead I'm there for the school. So whosoever is found wanting and warrant my recommendations to whatsoever, I'm going to do it happily, diligently, and in fact, more than even the expectation of the Edusans.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now to Honorable Sano. As they say, prevention is better than cure. You all know that. How will you use your unrestricted access to all the files of ministers to stop financial mismanagement before it happens? You should not wait until everything happens and you come as an independent man, try to address Otonyambas. We don't want that. But we want you to stop before it actually happens.
Yeah, thank you very much. This person is very important. It's simple.
Yes.
Because we believe that before any expenditure, the auditor need to put on picture, to look at it, to give an answer. That's why the section come in. You make sure that you advise the executive council on financial matters. It is very, very important. You cannot wait when the damage is done, you want to bring your corrective measures. It will not work.
Yes.
Before damage is done, you have to make corrections. That means you have to prevent damage. In fact, that is part of the qualities of a leader. A good leader should matter with 4 P's. Proper planning, prevent problem. So you have to plan properly, and in order to prevent problems. So if you don't plan well, you are going to fail well, or you are going to fail very well. For the fact that you are not planning, you don't know what you are doing. But in this question, that how can I prevent that mismanagement or whatsoever when it comes to the financial dealings, I will make sure that I know very well their policies, what they are going to implement at the end of the day, and when are they going to do that? Because most of the ministers, in order to implement their policies, they require significant amount of money from the council, and that money to be disposed. I believe that before Minister of Finance giving out that money, it has to be in consultation with the Auditor General to give an advice what to give. If it is more than enough, then we believe that council cannot spend at that particular time, Auditor General have the right to say no to that, to make sure that we spend diligently, we spend based on the scale of preference, as we said in economics. So therefore, it is very, very important that we prevent problems before it happens.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The same question to Honorable Defe. Prevention is better than cure. How will you use your unrestricted access to files to stop financial mismanagement before it happens? As Auditor General.
Mr. Moderator Cyril, Professor Fati,
Mhm.
These things are on record. Those listening, they will know very well. From the past, I mentioned a particular policy that can even be used to solve this problem. That is a policy of what? Risk-based audit planning method. I told you, in this policy, it allows us to assess the potential benefit and then the risks associated with our financial decision. So, like my brother said, if any budget is prepared by any member of the council, this is why that constitution is there for us. We should give an advice to them regarding their financial matters. So once this brought to us, before we wait or before I wait for the questioning for corrective measure, I would rather correct the person to say, oh, I saw this and that and that and that is not correct. Let's do it based on budget for it to be what? Like I said, I work in what? Quality assurance. The budgeting, it has to go by what? Constitutions and bylaws of our association. It cannot just be like how I want it, but all these have to go in line with our constitutional functions. So I won't waste or hesitate to stop any mismanagement before it occurs. But this is why I'm entrusted in this position. So I should serve confidently, honestly, and also with integrity for the reliability and authenticity of our association budget. So this is it. So far, I won't sit and wait for the corrective measure, but instead I'll go for correct prevention, because as we said, prevention is always better than cure. So I'll make sure that I use my unrestricted power as an Auditor General to make sure that we don't go for what? Any mismanagement of fund as one of the core factor or key types of what? Auditing, where it talks about forensic or type of auditing. This will help me to be able to detect any sense of what? Fraud or mismanagement. So I can use these techniques to spot out, to know this particular part is going wrong, or if it comes out, it may not go well for the association. So I will immediately condemn it.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. So now to our final questions. That Honorable, before the rebuttal. Now, the president is the head of the administrative council. That is the council that you're going to serve if you are elected. That is the 16th executive council. You all know the powers and responsibility of the president. As an independent man, if the president want to use his power over you, what will you do if you are elected?
Yeah, thank you very much, Seymour, for that question once again. I believe that we all have our oversight functions. When it comes to the Constitution, the president has his own functions, his or her functions. I also have my own functions at the Auditor General. So I don't think that the president is powerful, fine, but he cannot dictate what I should not do, or he cannot dictate my actions. That's not possible. That's why I said at the beginning that when I said white is white, I mean, as far as I'm on the right track, I'm not afraid of anybody. And nobody can influence me in that regard. Serving or being an Auditor General in Edusa, it doesn't mean that you are serving your camp. That has to be clear to everybody. We are serving the student fraternity. We are serving the student body. And we make sure that we are also accountable by the same students to look at our functions. Therefore, the role of Auditor General, those who know it, will actually know that Auditor cannot be controlled by anybody. Because even the president, because it is said very well.
Remember, the president is your boss. Huh?
Yeah, it's my boss, fine. But with due respect to the president, the section is there that also back my point that I am an independent member of the council.
But I think the same constitution also give the president to function any ministerial function to do.
Yeah,
including your own.
No. President cannot do my functions. It's not part of it. My function is independent. And presidents cannot do anything with regards to my function, except I'm not doing as the way it's supposed to be done. This is a typical example I'm going to give you, even in national wise. The Auditor General in our country, that Auditor General is very powerful. That's why even the president cannot remove the Auditor General just like that, because it has legalities. It has the mandate that is to serve to make sure that what is supposed to be done and is done amicably. So therefore, the president cannot dictate me. There's nobody who can dictate me in that office.
Okay.
For the fact that I'm an independent member in the council, I will uphold the general councils for any misconduct, any misbehavior, and I can give credit to their good achievements when it comes to reporting and whatsoever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Sano. This has been Honorable Dafe. We are running out of time. So what will you do?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Like a saying goes, a wise man says, there is no man above the law.
Yes.
In our Edusa, we have our law book. That is our constitution.
But remember, you are talking about the president.
Yes, that president is even serving under the principle of that book.
Constitution. He's the guardian of the constitution. He can sit on top of the constitution.
No one is above the law. We are talking about the law here. No one is above the law. And we all have our separate responsibilities and functions that we are to do in line with that constitution. On the day of the convention, you'll hear all these presidents will be saying, if I'm voted in the office, I'll make sure I implement this, I'll make sure I will do this. They will never speak out of the functions. So they know very well that those functions are our guiding tool. They are our guiding angel. So which is the tool that I'm using to make my audit.
But the same constitution gives the president to override other ministries, including your own position.
No, but you will not see anywhere part of my functions that it says that the president have to override my function. I have not seen anywhere in my functions as far as section 20 about the functions of the Auditor General is concerned. What I knew and what I saw in our association book, which is not, the president is not exempted. It doesn't, manifest, or it doesn't appear anywhere that I am to, go against the will of the constitution just to please the president. If you listen to one of my policies, I said, if you act contrary, that was the principle of risk base, where I talk about the it allows us to assess the potential benefit and the risk associated with our financial decision. So whosoever, in that it says, whosoever are contrary to this principle will be held accountable regardless of your position. So if I said regardless of your position, this doesn't exempt the president. The president is served under the principle. So
he's your boss anyway.
In this case, I can even say I'm the boss of the president because I can audit the president, but the president cannot audit me. He's not an auditor, and he doesn't have that function to audit me. Okay. But I can audit him.
No problem.
So
then thank you so much. That brings us to the final section of the question and answers. Now we go to rebuttals. If you have any questions according to what you said, all your question is going to be based on what your opponent say. If you say anything that you think that you have something to add, or you have something to that you are going to argue with, no problem. The mic is going to be here. Now we're going to start with Duffy. You're listening to Honorable Sano, whatever he said, So if you have a question for him, no problem. You can ask him questions. And Honorable, you answer questions based on
my brother,
answer.
Mr. Sano, with due respect, I want you to clarify this point for me, because I have been hearing during the campaign as one of the campaign strategies from your speakers that you are an imam, so that means people should vote for you, and then here and there, but I cannot justify from that one. But today too, you mentioned part of your policies or part of your integrities or honesties that you are an imam, people should vote for you. I want you to tell me, becoming an imam, where in our constitution does it justify for one to become an auditor based on our functions? Where in our constitution does it demand for one to become an imam before making an auditor?
Thank you very much, my brother Dafe, for the questions. I think for that of the records, I can be able to answer this, but otherwise it's not necessary. For the fact that an auditor, we all know that is an important person in communities. The imams in an important person in our communities. For the fact that respect people have for them, that trust people have for them, because people believe that imams are straightforward, because they are the people who give sermons on weekly basis. Because when I came to Peter initially, if you go there, you ask about me personally, you will even wonder who is me. Because when I came, I'm not brag up, I want to blow my own trumpet. But being an imam is an important portfolio in the communities. right? My father was an imam. We came in, inherited that. But even me personally, I'm not even considering my father's mosque. That one is there on its own. But we are having our own mosque where we leading prayers. And in that, because of the respect and due diligence people have on me in that regard, that's why we just bring it as a reference for people to know that anybody serve as an imam in a community, in a bigger community like Pirang, can also serve in the position of the trust. And being at the auditor position is a person of the trust. So people must have trust in you the way they have trust in me to serve, to make me as an imam in the community. So it has in line with our responsibilities, because auditor is somebody who should be trustworthy. Auditor should be somebody who should be straightforward. Auditor should be somebody who should be a watchdog, not a bystander. So therefore, an imam also have similar qualities. So if you look at the qualities of an imam and the qualities of an auditor general, they are more of the same, for the fact that they have similar functions.
We are running out of time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And now it's your turn to ask, according to what he said here. Outside here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like he rightly mentioned so many things about this achievement in the communities. And those achievements, basically, we want to know it very well. Those achievements you mentioned of being, how to call it, an auditor in your own community, and also being what is the name in Combo East, like I said, the youth development committees, your program managers. I don't know the KIDA you're talking about. To be a program manager in your community or in Combo East in particular, because I'm also from Combo East, I've never known about that. If that is a organization that is renowned, and also if that the functions of that, being a coordinator in that thing, what has that connection with your functions as Auditor General?
Yes, like where he started, he said, becoming an auditor general in my committee. That's where he started. It's a similar position. Auditor general, being an auditor general in my committee and being an auditor general in Edusa, they are similar. Auditor generals and auditor general is all independent positions that we served in order to audit the performance of our association. Right? Good. Aside from that, he also asked what connection of me being a program manager at KIDA has to do with the position of Auditor General. He who knows KIDA, maybe he is not in Combo East, but whosoever is in Combo East knows KIDA. Even the children at age 5, they all know what the work of KIDA is. KIDA, like I said, is a university of its own when it comes to the youth work. So to serve as a program manager to that association, it means that shows you have that institutional memory, you have that experience to be able to help any position regardless of its nature as far as youth work or organization or an association is concerned. So this is why I was using this as part of my company, because it's a success story that I have registered. But if you look at this, it has a great connection to leadership. And Auditor General is that independent leader that should be able to serve the best interest of the masses. That's the Edusa in particular to say here. So this was why I was using that as a yardstick, to use it as a campaign. I got a lot more, but then I limited this because I know that a day like this is coming, and also a convention night is also coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
thank you so much. Now to my final question to both of you. Edusa, a lot had happened, in the past 12 months. Edusa become the household name in University of the Gambia. Everybody is talking about Edusa this, Edusa that, 15 executive council this, 15 executive council that. A lot of big house, a lot of complaints, recommendations, so many things that you are aware of, because you are not a stranger in the University of the Gambia, especially School of Education. Now, if you are elected in the office, Honorable Sano, Honorable Dafe, if you are elected in the office, how can you use your position as Auditor General to unify Edusians? Because both of you are coming from two different camps. You have your philosophies, they have their philosophies. So how can you unify Edusa? Edusa is the only school, because I know what I'm telling you, I'm the information minister. year in, year round, 12 months a year, election campaign is happening. No election, no campaign is over in Edusa. Every time people are campaigning, people are, especially if you go to political bantaba. But we want that to stop with the 16 executive council, especially as independent candidates. Once election is over, no politicking, no nothing, no come, no anything until the next election cycles. So as the Auditor General, how are you going to unify the edition? So I will start with Honorable Sano.
Yeah, thank you very much. This point is very important because it's even part of my policies. Though I know that I'm an independent member, that's why I include that to make sure that we bring educans under one umbrella. If you look at the past 12 months, like you made mention, is a moment of chaos, right? Where everybody is talking about Edusa. More especially if you go to political bantabas. People are just talking about things that are insulting one another. And I believe that in my capacity as the Auditor General and the trust and the confidence people have on me and the respect also people give me even in Edusa, I don't think if I advise the council members as part of my functions, they will reject my advices, especially when it comes to the unity. This one, in fact, is something that I've been doing. Like I said, like my brother made mention of being an imam, what connection has to do with this. It is very, very important. We mitigate so many we mediate so many issues in our communities as an imam. When it comes to bringing people together, okay, that is part of my functions as an imam in the community. That we have been doing that between couples, married couples, between friends, between families and the like. We have been doing that. That is not a new thing to me. So coming to the Edusa, like I said, if you look at our community settings, we can situate that some of the functions in the communities is more complex, even the University of the Gambia. For the fact that we believe that whenever in the council, for example, we try to talk about certain things that is important to make sure that we bring people together, I think that's going to be very easy and they're going to listen to me because it's part of my function that I should serve as an advisor to every officer in that particular council. And also, as an Auditor General in the council, because one of the reasons why my people even brought me in, to make sure that I serve as an advisor to the team. And that is going to extend, not only in the team renaissance, but it's going to extend to the council and also going to extend to the general member. If you look at all these things, we can even blame the leaders.
Yes, Honorable, time is not on our side now, but they said editions are good, very, very good, but the problems are the politicians. Yeah, they are the one that causing all these problems.
That is why I'm even coming. Because editions are good, they can listen and they understand. Because we believe the school of education is a mature school, as we describe it. Because we believe that we have veteran teachers. We have people who serve more than decades in teaching field.
But that doesn't manifest.
That doesn't manifest. For the fact that the leadership problems, that's why I was coming there. Those in that position, they cannot unify educans. So for us, I believe that when you come in the 16th Executive Council, as my role as Auditor General, I will make sure that I head that project or that proposals to make sure that all the educans speak one voice.
Okay.
When the campaign is over, we stop the campaign, we focus on the work to make sure that Edusa is great again.
Thank you.
As our slogan says.
Thank you. We are running out of time. Honorable, the same thing to you. How can you unify Edusa? A lot happen. Edusa this, Edusa that. Everywhere you go, politics every day. Non-stop. It's like we are going for election every month.
Yes.
Yes. As an Auditor General, how can you unify editions?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
IPRO. I think if not among, or if not the best question so far that is asked today, but it's also among the best questions that is asked. I will start by saying Edusa must not die.
Yes.
Edusa is for all, regardless of our political affiliation. As far as I am concerned, as an Auditor General, if I am voted in the office, I will make sure that with all my power and constitutional functions that I have to bestow upon anyone to have peace, I will do. Because I have that constitutional function whereby I can give and advise to the executive members. So in this case, I think people are saying there is a lot of brouhaha in Edusa, but sometimes I said to myself, I said yes, sometimes there is, but sometimes there is not. Why do I say sometimes there is and sometimes there is not? In all these problems that we are facing, it's not face to face. If not because of this politics, I will never sit with my brother debate. Yes, he knew very well the respect and the regards that I have for him.
Yes, that's what they say. The students are good, but the politicians are the problem.
Yeah, this is where I'm coming up.
Yes.
This politics is no way to destroy my relationship with anyone.
Okay.
In fact, it will strengthen it. But where I feel there is a problem, because while you're saying those political banter, insult, and other things in politics never exist, there I think I'll work with the IPRO ministry, where they are the one responsible for regulation of that group. Whosoever use foul words or whatever in the page that is not, friendly language, in consultation with the president or executive power, the man with the executive power in the board should be removed from the page. I think if those works are done properly, by now we will not be facing such. Because there are a lot of pseudo accounts in those pages.
Yes.
And those pseudo account holders are the very people insulting people, caricaturing people, defaming people. I know if it is properly handled, by now we will not be talking about that.
Yeah, that's why I say the problems are the politicians.
No, not the politicians per se.
But those that are good.
Yeah, those that are doing that, if it is properly handled by the same politician that is voted in the position, will not have seen those. So I will make sure that I work hand in glove with my advisors as part of my function through the office of the IPRO unit. Inshallah, if I am voted in the office, if you put their trust in me, which I believe they will, because I have been serving this Mama Edusa. If about the activities, I have participated in 95% of Edusa activities from my starting to today. 95%, I can say that, I can beat my chest and say that I have participated in 95% of Edusa activities. I will make sure that I channel through the IPRO office in order for us to mitigate the risks of the bad name that we are having outside, in order to send the good image of Edusa. Edusa has been known as the best school as far as University of the Gambia is concerned. In fact, people call it mother of the university,
yes,
the border school of the university.
Yeah, thank you.
Simply
thank
because
you. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yes, Edusa was one time the best, association, and then I think if my memory can serve me well, under the 13th Executive Council, Edusa won the best association, of the University of the Gambia. So that have to come back, and you people have the responsibility to make sure that we claim that title back again. Now, that brings us to the end of the program, but before I leave, I would like to you people in 1 minute to say your final words, whatever you have for Edusans, especially those who are going to vote, in 1 minute, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Seumar. We come to the end of this program. We really extend our sincere thanks to each and every Edusans out there watching, and also to give them the assurance that if I am given the chance, I'm going to deliver to expectations, and no doubt about that. This is a job that I choose a job. It doesn't mean that this job choose me. I choose a job for myself, and I know the sequences behind the job. So therefore, I'm going to do it as expected. Like I said all the time, these experiences I've made mention here, that give me the vast knowledge. Okay, in leadership, in accountability, in transparency, in financial management, which I am fully prepared to apply them diligently in my capacity as the Auditor General. So therefore, if you vote me into that office, you will never regret. I'm going to serve you and serve you well. Once again, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you. Honorable, your final word.
Thank you very much.
In 1 minute.
Prof. Fatih. Thank you very much, wonderful viewers and listeners out there. Thank you very much for your time that you spend in watching us or in listening to our policy debate. I thank you all for your kind attention. Yes, be rest assured, if I'm voted in the office, I will serve even more than the expectations, because I know I'm a man of principle, and I believe in the principle that leading by example. I will adhere strictly to the constitutional functions to make sure that I don't, victimize anyone biasly. I will be very much impartial in leading this office to the leading expectation where we want the glory of Edusa back. And I believe with me in the office, this can be ascertained because I know and I have the technical know-how, I have the skills, and I have the expertise to be able to hold this association or to see it where it was lost, to bring it back to its lost glory. And then also, here, I plan myself for this. And we all know the importance of planning. We said, he who fails to plan is planning to fail. So here, I'm already a plan one for this position, which I know I have been serving, not claim to serve, but I have been serving. I don't claim to serve in this position. So with the experiences that I gathered, I'm 100% sure that if I'm voted in, which I'm sure you will do, because you are the one that have that power, whosoever that you want to see in that office will be there, inshallah. But solely, I want to assure you that I will ensure that every bit of my constitutional function as part of my policies will be implemented regardless of their affiliation, or regardless of their positions.
Yes.
So I'll be that impartial person, I'll be that neutral person, I'll be that honest person with integrity, because I know these are my core values. Whoever knows Daffy with these qualities. So I thank you all for your wonderful attention. Yes. Thank you, Fine TV, for hosting us here once again, because I think I will not do just if I don't acknowledge your effort. And also to my campaign manager and my team SSC for their tireless efforts in guiding me throughout this process. And also I will thank my political opponent camp, Renaissance, because without Renaissance, I don't think today there will be this policy debate here today. Because we all come from different camps. This is why we are sitting here today. At least we are trying to show our policies. We are trying to sell ourselves. It's now that we are done selling ourselves. So it's left to the voters to decide. The community
thank you. We are running out of time.
Don't make a mistake of buying a community, but later you will regret. Thank you.
Candidates, thank you so much. Thank you, candidates. That concludes our final round of questions for this afternoon. We covered a lot today, from financial transparency to technical cycles of auditings and the criteria that these auditors are going to use. Now, to the students' body of the University of the Gambia, especially the members of Edusa, the Office of Auditor General is the backbone of our association accountability. We hope today's debate has provided the clarity we need to make an informed choice at the pool. Your vote is your voice. Use it wisely. And then I want to thank all our candidates for their times and their commitments to student leadership. I also want to extend our gratitude to EC for organizing the platform and giving us the green light to go ahead with these policies, and also the members of the 15th Executive Council from the presidents down to the last man. I thank you all for giving me the support as your mouthpiece of the council to come here and sit on behalf of the 15th Executive Council to organize this policy debate. So we'll end this today program here, and then join us next, positions that we are going to bring here to have a big debate from that position also, so that as a citizens you can have a wonderful decisions that you are going to make before you make a wrong choice that you will later regret. I have been your moderator, Sheikh Omar Fati. Thank you for watching Fine TV and have a nice evening. Thank you.